What is up, ladies and germs? Welcome back for another video. Today, we have another episode of We Draft Paper. And this is the Avatar The Last Airbender version of that. And let's get into our first pack and see what we kind of open. So we see a couple Fire Nation cadets, which I will say is my favorite card of the set. I don't know why. It's well statted. It has upside. It's efficient. Um, I love getting fire bending when you have a um, lesson in the graveyard. But we're taking Azula. Azula is great because what it does when it's 5 mana, black, black, blue, 2 colorless, and when it enters a target opponent, exiles a creature, and they also exile a non-land permanent from their graveyard, and I am able to cast those cards um, with using any mana. So very efficient card, very good card, bomby enough for me, so opted to go that way. And like, you don't really want to take a pack one, pick one Fire Nation cadets, even though I would. We have a dragon here, which is Lessons Matter. So it would put me into more of a Grixis style of deck. But just contemplating on what's probably best here. So I'm opting to uh, take the Benevolent River Spirit. I actually have never cast that card until this draft here. And but yeah, it's just good stat at it. If I can get some things that produce clue tokens, that's going to be nice there. Here we have a couple good cards here. We have the Mechanist, which is fantastic. It does make clues, but we do have to pass the Foggy Swamp. Guys, that whenever you cast or draw your second card, you get to make a 1/1 Spirit token that can't be blocked or blocked by anything but spirited things. So here, getting into Lost Days, seeing what else is in the pack. The pack's kind of bland for us, but just trying to determine what kind of direction I want to go. I do just want to take good cards. I love Azula, and the card is great. It's very mana intensive. So if I'm not in Dimir, like, that is okay. I need to consider that as well. So we take Lost Days here. The Inspector's pretty fine in a deck like this too. And I actually kind of waffle and go back and pick up the Glider Staff. Because it's a fantastic card. It's definitely the best card in the pack by far, but in case like white ends up being open, and I felt like pick 3, that card probably should have been picked up. We have a dual lane here, but I think we're going to take Water Bending Lesson, which is also good in Draw Matters kind of style decks. So I ended up going 1-2 tonight. This wasn't like my strongest deck for sure. My round 1, I went up, I think it was against like Rakdos one another, but he wasn't doing much. So like I was just curving out and it was more so he didn't get to play more so than I'd crush, or my deck was great. If any deck feels good when they're not interacting with your stuff or playing to the board, just like, yeah, winner. Get a Watery Grasp here, fantastic card. Cheap removal, cheap interactions, good at in these kinds of decks because I want to use mana to spend to draw cards, as opposed to and with cheap interaction in the same turn, almost like the double spell. But if not, that's okay. But that cheap interaction's kind of the key to open that door. The set is so much fun. A lot of things to do here, a lot of fun interactions, strange plays being made just based off of the mechanics, all the bending mechanics alone, um, leads to a lot of cool play. 10-person pod tonight, so I'm not really counting on all my wheels, but Judy and Corrupt Court Official are the options here. But honestly, Corrupt Court Official I think is just better in this deck. Judy, I'm not looking to like really sack things like that, and it doesn't like necessarily draw a card. It just does the surveil, I believe. Yes, it makes copies of itself, but that's really not what we're looking for. Maybe it is the right pick. Maybe I'm just underselling Judy. Messenger Hawk's great pickup here. It's exactly what my deck wants to do. Yeah, round one I kind of mowed over him. Round two, um, I play a regular up there, Mark, and he had Boros. He had the deck that I love to draft in this set. Just Boros, firebending value, and kind of aggro. He had two of those sagas that make 2/1/1 allies. That was really good in his deck. Kind of pushed through the extra stuff. We have the Otter Penguin here. It does kind of go into the theme of what I'm trying to do, so I'll pick it up. Late Fire Nation Cadets. I'll just take it for the sake of taking it. And if I end up in a little bit of red, this is only pack one, so if I end up in a little bit of red, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Borcupine, not really my thing. The Black Land Cycler is okay, but it's really, I've been kind of down on the Land Cyclers, even though I think that the iteration of them is really good. I think I undersell the North Pole Patrols, and I get a last pick Inspector, which is actually kind of a gift. So I feel okay. I mean, this deck wasn't like, it didn't smash. It wasn't explosive. Its thing worked whenever they're not like aggressing towards me and just kind of wrecking me in that way. But it does like when I'm there, because I have a lot of flyers. I have a lot of I've pretty okay interaction and things like that, and I have a bomb of Azula. And then the last match I went up against Selesnya, and both games it goes turn 2, the 2/1 mana dork, that if you have a power 4 or greater it taps for 2 green. That into Suki both games. So it's just like completely wrecking me. So this is an interesting pick because we got South Pole Voyagers, and then we also got Grand Grand. Grand Grand is clearly much better for my deck than the South Pole Voyagers, but I didn't quite, at this point, I didn't quite let go of the dream of maybe being white as well. Maybe white-blue was a direction that I could be, and there's a lot of allies in that space, but it was, I think, looking back, I picked Grand Grand, but I'm also trying to look at the strongest cards and the strongest upside, and that 2-drop is just really, really good. And we take that into a pack that really has nothing for me. I mean, I could take Parrot here or the uncommon make your thing into a mana dork, can't attack or block thing. I mean, Hey Bye is actually good too. It probably was the pick here because it could lead into black or white if that's my secondary color, because I clearly know that I'm blue. Got the trap here, but that isn't the pick, I believe. Azula's Cruelty is good, but yeah, I take the Realm of Ko. It's actually just a good land in my deck. It just gets that, makes 1/1s in the late game if we're stalled out, which came up a couple times throughout my gameplay. Suki that ends up biting me in the rear. Sold Out's good, but we take this. We accumulate wisdom. Fantastic card. So now I'm kind of like, all right, we could do like a sub lesson / draw like Dimir payoff kind of deck. I was like, sounds good. I think my deck was a little bit better than a 1-2. I did have some like non games throughout the night of just like me being stuck on 2 mana and then popping off. The Fire Nations, whatever it is I think actually should have been the pick here. The card's really great. Or maybe Long Fang. This is I'm looking at my accumulate wisdom. I was like, I want to make sure I have enough lessons to be able to support it. So it's either I take that, and I don't think, yeah, I pass on the inspector and then that. So here we get gifted with the Foggy Swamp guys, and then I do want to play a Daily Agent deck. I want to pack one, pick one, that uncommon, and just go from there. I want to be in Gruul in one of these drafts just because I don't see it ever, but that card is really really good, and I don't feel like people are in Gruul very often in this set. So feeling very medium about my start here. That was kind of the theme of the night. Just like I just felt medium about it. It wasn't like you know last week I had a wildly good Boros deck, went 3-0. It was easy, but I just didn't have the explosiveness in this that I did before. Consider the Orzhov land, but we have Teo here. Like I said, if there's one color that I am, it is blue. So, and have some flyers with Messenger Hawks and things like that. So, and the Benevolent Water Spirit or whatever have you. So, yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of like smoothing out what I'm doing in this deck, and Teo's a good pickup. Card advantage, puts counters on things. Pretty strong. Late Zuko, but I'm also wanting to take lessons. Zuko, people are usually down on that card, and that's why it's here so late. However, I like the card. I think it's great, especially if you can get rid of it. Like, there's plenty of sack outlets in this set. Um, I just think the card's good, cheap, and gives you, in all honesty, is like at least a 3-for-1 most of the times if it isn't dealt with immediately. And they don't want to deal with it because they want you to let it flip to give it to them. So you're just kind of like playing the waiting game until you get all that value built up. In most cases, obviously. Some advanced players will know to be rid of that nuisance because there's just too much value being given off it. So one is like draw a card, lose a life, I think, and the other is add 1 or 2 mana, and then the next mode is put a 1/1 counter on it, and then the fourth mode is you exile it and give it to your opponent. Um, I just don't want to get trapped by these Fire Nation cadets, especially seeing them so late. I don't want to get trapped, so I just took the koi, even though I don't necessarily think I'm playing it at this point. Um, I just don't want to be tricked because I'll go down that lane. I've done this before where I'll just like, wow, my 2-color deck turned into a 4 or 5-color deck just because I wanted to play some of these cards. They're good cards, but you know, not practical, and if you're trying to win. This LGS is like the draft scene is like is a lot of people that kind of roll through there, but not all of them are super like sweaty. Uh, so it is a lot very casual. It is a casual event from front to back. So like that is very apparent. However, like we all try to win. We all trying to get them W's. If you guys like what we do here, please like, comment, and subscribe. Any and all feedback or acknowledgement is super great for me. I'm trying to build this channel from the ground up. I lost a lot of traction on getting subscribers, uh, so I would like to see like some support from you guys, if at all possible, and it would help the channel greatly. And yeah, just come up in this show. We draft paper, so this is a nice little cute pay up, like with a Zula always lies. I ended up playing two of them, and they actually kind of like were better than I expected, and they're lessons, so kind of leaning in towards that bit as well. But yeah, um, I'm trying to involve myself more into the community. I do work a 60-hour a week job outside of doing this channel, and but this channel is kind of like where a lot of my passion is, of like what how I like to spend my time when I'm not spending with my daughter. And but yeah, I did buy my tickets to MagicCon Vegas for May 1st through the 3rd. I'm going solo, baby. I look forward to it. I'm gonna have some adventures and get a little wild. Not a lot for me in this pack. I considered taking the Azorius, still considering the splash for Azorius, but that would pump my flyers and makes a clue token, which are both benefits for my deck. So doesn't feel terrible. This pack is kind of not it for me neither. But we had the Waterbending Ascension, a Waterbender Ascension, which gets a counter on it every time you deal combat damage to a player, and when you have 4 counters, you draw a card every time you deal combat damage to a player. And then it also has a waterbending ability, that Waterbender 4, to make a creature unblockable. This was an interesting pick too. The Messenger Hawk, I think, is more my deck, but I think the better card and probably the right card would have been the Trebuchet, the Fire Navy Trebuchet. Fire Nation Trebuchet is just really, really good. Adds bodies on the board. There's flexibility to what you want to do with this clue, with the boulder tokens, 2/1 flyers coming through. I love that style card too. It's nice. Another Azula knows or always lies. Another Dali Agents. Could have had two. Could have been Golgari. Come on, guys. Maybe I should have been Sultai. I don't know if I could have supported that. That wasn't a consideration, honestly. But um, honestly, waterbending lesson or pox bearers are probably the what needs to happen here. We take the pox bearers. I don't think I ended up playing the pox bearers though. Um, I ended up with 2 waterbending lessons anyways, but I think 4 would be a little bit too clunky and awkward for this deck as well. Snowballers, many hats, unblockable land that also gives unblockable thing or 2 creatures that share the same creature type unblockable. So have some applications there because I do get some duplicates of things. I don't think I played that land though. Just I wanted to make sure my mana was right. Over that, I think that actually the pick here is Lost Days over Master Paku. This is not a Master Paku deck. Yeah, I have lessons, but like when you have one effect that tries to mill them, like it's just not really what you're going to be trying to do. But I was also considering this. I did end up playing it, but I needed 2 drops as well, and I felt like its body provided more substance than like the Pox Bears did. All right, late dragon going on here, but we have a Deadly Precision, which is definitely what I need. Cheap interactions, the name of the game, and being able to do multiple things a turn is what this deck really needs. I don't think I drew too particularly good. Like I said earlier, I think this was more like a 2-1 deck than a 1-2 deck. I think I had some strong things going on. I did not see or play Azula once in all, what was it, 7 or 8 games that I played tonight. So, didn't like wasn't able to see my best card is always not a great thing. Um, but yeah, wasn't my best work, but on gameplay wise, just because like getting having some non games in there just sucks. That's all right. We carry on, learn from it. Guru Patik is actually a nice pickup here. It's a nice body. I almost take the Dali Agents, whatever it's called. But Guru Patik also puts counters on things if I'm doing like a sub lesson theme. So like almost missed that I could play that card even though it was Simic colors. Wolfbat's not even a bad pickup here. I don't have much discard, but like chump play from the graveyard again doesn't seem bad. Azula always lies. I do play both copies. So, but that being said, guys, I appreciate you all hanging out. If you guys like what we do here, please like, comment, subscribe. This is my favorite channel. This is the bread and butter of what I like to do here. Here is the deck list. Here we got Azula, we got Realm of Ko. I got about 7 lessons and a dream and some cheap interactions, and creatures are pretty okay. Nothing crazy, but I do think that they gel pretty well. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next one.